Chapter 61 Secret Coveted Person. That's just a trick I played in collusion with Father Whitebeard to clear my current identity. The majesty of Father Whitebeard is there, even if it is the bounty office, it does not ask about the latter. So, it's enough for me to fool the bounty exchange guy. Just convince him that I'm dead, and the plan is done. After that, my shadow clone retrieved my own head and paid a commission for the response, and that's it. Shajirqing sighed and said, for the future development of things, I must separate my identity from the identity of Shuitong Shajirqing. Otherwise, with the increase in exposure in the future, it will be easy to be seen through. And now, and for a long time, their focus will be on the response of the Whitebeard pirates. After that, when this matter has a result, they will forget about Shajirqing with blood pupils. At that time, on the sea, there was only one thunder hunter, Nachi. When Anna heard the words, she couldn't help but praise her. As expected of Mr. Shajirqing, he is really amazing. Shajirqing heard that Jeju was holding her. If I don't clear my identity, if I'm found out in the future, my strength will inevitably lead to Marine's fear, so that many of my plans can't be carried out. In that case, there is no way to help Father Whitebeard. Meanwhile, all over the sea, even the people of Whitebeard dare to kill. Good, this kind of person with both courage and strength is what I need. Getting this kind of person as a fighting puppet can better help me dominate the sea. What 4 emperors, they will all be my puppets. The old man wants to step on the marine, smash the world with his fists, and become the only king on this sea. On a certain sea in the Great Route, on a pirate ship with a gold coin on the bow, a middle-aged man like a nobleman said with a smile on the corner of his mouth. It is also a great route, on the waters close to the devil's 3-masted ship. Logia Mudfruit, it's you, with you, I can sneak into this devil 3-masted ship and rescue my sister. Moria, you wait for me, one day, I will make you pay. A pale man who was surrounded by a faint murderous intent, looked at Anna's reward order in his hand, and murmured in such a low voice. Shajirqing and Anna may not have thought that they were coveted like this. They continue to do what they do as bounty hunters. Soon, they received a task. But this time, it's not killing anyone. Instead, she escorted the princess of Kalia Kingdom to the Kingdom of Moa to complete the marriage. The mission gold is 78 million Bailey. The reason why the quest gold is so high is because on the way to the Kingdom of Moa, you will pass through the first half of the Great Route, the Kukuli Sea area known as the Pirate's Den. There are several pirate groups with bounties over 100 million. The Kingdom of Cartier is not a member of the world's official government, and does not have the right to be escorted by Marine. Therefore, we can only find Shajirqing, who has the strength to deter over 100 million pirates. Do you treat your daughter as a political item and give it to the Prince of the Kingdom of Moa, a member of the world's official government, to have fun, so as to get more opportunities for cooperation? What a ruthless king. It's just a pity for a princess. The Moa Kingdom doesn't take you seriously at all, and they have no intention of welcoming you at all. Shajirqing glanced at the room behind him and said lowly. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 62 Hyena Pack. As a member of the world's official government, the Kingdom of Moa is qualified to be escorted by Marine. If they really cared about the princess, then this escort mission wouldn't fall on him. But, this is the law of the weak, isn't it? Survival of the fittest, the weak can only obey the strong. Shajirqing took pity on the princess, but it didn't mean he would save the princess. 2 days later, a group of them entered the Kukuli Sea. The Kukuli Sea area is a sea area surrounded by various scattered islands. He was like 2 broken ribbons, all the way connected to the red soil continent, but left such a long and narrow sea area for passage. If you want to reach the Kingdom of Moa, you must cross this sea area. And just after they entered the sea, 4 or 5 pirate ships appeared in the sea in front of them. When they saw Shajirqing's pirate ship, they were quite excited. Just by looking at the huge body of the ship and the delicate decoration, you can tell that this is a rich master. However, when they saw Shajur-Ching on the bow, they couldn't help but flinch. Ruthless people who even dared to kill Whitebeard's son, they may not be able to provoke them. But when they thought of Shajur-Ching's wealth, they couldn't help but feel a little reluctant. Shajur-Ching killed so many famous pirates, they wouldn't believe it if they didn't have money. Not to mention that he now has a princess on board, who is simply a gold master, delivered to his door. As a result, they were like hyenas on the grassland, following the lion Shajur-Ching, silently coveting. Just wait for the opportunity to come, and take advantage of the chaos. Their coveting made those old aunts, who accompanied the princess, panic very much. "Thunder Hunter, drive me out of these pirates." One of the old women in a dress pushed open the door and said with a trembling voice. "Understood." Shajur-Ching responded softly and stood up. Then, he pulled out the long knife with the purple flame pattern around his waist. Shajur-Ching named the knife, Liuhuo. Whoosh! As soon as the sword was drawn, a terrifying sword wave shot out, directly tearing open the sea, tearing a pirate ship in half. "If you don't step back, your body will be torn apart next. Or, do you want me to visit?" Shajur-Ching said from a distance, the voice resounded throughout the sea. "Damn, how arrogant. As a prisoner with a reward of 400 million, it is really despised to obey an old woman." These pirates scolded and scolded, but their bodies were still very honest. They stopped immediately, and some even started to turn around. No one wants to really provoke Shajur-Ching. Seeing this scene, the old woman couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief and said, as expected of the Thunder Hunter Nachi, "He is indeed amazing. However, don't be proud, work hard for me, there is still a long way to go, and if there is a problem, you are the only one who asks, understand?" After she finished her arrogant rebuke, she pushed the door and went in again. For a long time to come, there was no danger. Anna couldn't help sighing. It turns out that the deterrent of Lord Naz is so strong that it can keep so many pirates away. However, Shajur-Ching didn't think so. "I am afraid this is the calm before the storm, prepare for battle. How could it be so peaceful in this sea of pirates? Start a pair of riding wheels, pirates, start with a pair of riding wheels." 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 63 I am a principled person. Squeak. At this moment, the doors suddenly opened. A long and somewhat young girl walked out. She pointed at Shajur-Ching, pointed her anger and said, "You, come and help me beat my shoulders. After lying down for so long, my shoulders hurt to death." Shajur-Ching didn't move. The girl suddenly became unhappy, pointed at Shajur-Ching and scolded, "Are you deaf? This princess asked you to beat me on the shoulders, that is to look up to you, and it is your honor for 8 lifetimes. I advise you to obey me obediently, otherwise, I can ask Father King to cancel your commission at any time, understand? Only this princess can say such a thing. Then you can try to cancel the commission and see if those pirates will make you have more children in your stomach." Shajur-Ching replied lightly after hearing this. His task is to escort. What's the matter with the shoulder beating? Is he such a casual person? He wasn't mean, he wasn't greedy for the princess's body. "Anna, take the princess back to the room, a guest is here." Shajur-Ching looked towards the front of the sea and said to Anna without looking back. "Yes, Lord Shajur-Ching." Anna, who was at the helm, responded and waved her hand. A piece of ooze wrapped the princess and stuffed her into the room again. "Even you dare to threaten, it seems that you haven't been beaten in reality," Anna teased. "Bastard, how dare you do this to me? You're dead." Immediately, the princess's clamor came from the room. But right away, it was stopped by those old ladies. Shamuyang suddenly got up and said to the sea in front of him, "Everyone, since you're here, come out. There are so many people hiding and not lining up. Ha ha, as expected of the Thunder Hunter, it's really amazing." The next moment, there was a burst of laughter on the sea, and a group of pirate ships appeared on the sea from the sea in front of Shajirching. Just looking at it, there are at least a dozen ships. Formed an artificial barrier. Fire dragon pirates. Flying fish pirates. Crow pirates. They're all tricky pirates. Shajirching glanced at the pirate groups that appeared, and said in a heavy tone of Vivi. These are all pirate groups that have appeared over 100 million yuan. Among them, the leader of the Fire Dragon Pirates has a bounty of 252 million Bailey. The force value is as high as 134. Thunder Hunter, the brothers have all shown you face, you see, don't you feel proud of yourself? Otherwise, you won't be able to get through this sea area today. The captain of the Fire Dragon Pirates, Bingalis said with a playful smile on the corner of his mouth. Yeah, after crossing this sea, you have to take care of your brother's business anyway. There was another voice behind Shajirching and the others, and behind them, they were also surrounded by 2 pirate ships. Shajirching and the others have been surrounded. It seems that if I don't take care of your business today, I won't be able to leave. Seeing this situation, Shajirching's eyes suddenly became dangerous, and said with a smile. Tell me, how much do you guys want? 10 million, or 100 million? I have a net worth of 500 million here. Shajirching looked at the fire dragon Binlis and said playfully. Very good, as expected of the Thunder Hunter, he really is on the road. Hand over 500 million and you can leave. Hearing the price quoted by Shajirching, the fire dragon Binlis's breath suddenly became rapid. Start a pair of riding wheels, pirates, start with a pair of riding wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 64. If you can't talk, talk with your fists. He, what about you, fellow pirate captains? There is only one share of the 500 million yuan, and Bingalis swallowed it all. Are you drinking the northwest wind? Shajirching turned to look at the other captains of the pirate group again, sowing discord. You don't need to sow discord, we have our own allocation. Hand over 500 million and you can leave. The head of the Flying Fish Pirates, Hots, had a greedy smile on his lips. He thought to himself, I originally thought that the famous Thunder Hunter was so powerful, but now it seems that he is just a coward. Yes, it seems that it is useless to sow discord. Then, only the next plan can be implemented. Hearing this, Shajirching split a shadow clone. Then, he jumped directly from the boat like this, not bothering Hots, Binlis and others to be shocked. What is this for? Suicide. As we all know, devil fruit people are most afraid of seawater, but what happened to Shajirching? He directly threw himself into the sea. What do you want to do? Boom. But Shajirching did not fall into the sea as they imagined, but instead stood on the sea like standing on the ground. This made Hots and the others widen their eyes in shock. Everyone, I'll give you the 500 million, are you sure you have your life to take it? Shajirching raised his head, violent thunder and lightning lingered all over his body. Arrogant. Hearing this, Bingliston shouted wildly. But the trace of Shajirching has been lost on the sea. Where? Binlis and the others couldn't help but instantly became vigilant. Behind you. Shajirching's voice came from behind Binlis, and the thunder gun in his hand stabbed out with a cold light. Do you think you can sneak up on me like this? Binlis gave a loud shout and hurriedly dodged to the side. Did you really think you avoided it? Shajirching's voice came from behind Binlis again. What? Binlis couldn't help shrinking his pupils, and before he had time to react, he felt his body suddenly paralyzed. PFF'd. A flash of cold light flashed across the crowd, and Binlis's chest was pierced by a thunder blade. Ah! Bingliston let out a scream, and the whole person suddenly exuded the smell of burnt stench. Captain! The people of the Fire Dragon Pirates couldn't help but exclaimed, but they didn't have time to come forward to rescue. Seeing Shajirching, a thunder and lightning tiger suddenly rushed out behind him, and knocked them out. Ah! A group of pirates suddenly screamed, and the entire ship was flashing with lightning. How can it be so strong? The rest of the pirates stared at this scene, their eyes widened in astonishment. They didn't expect that Shajur-Ching, who had been cowardly before, would suddenly explode. Even a powerhouse like Fire Dragon Binless was instantly killed. Everyone, do you still need toll fees? If you still need it, I don't mind breaking out again. After Shajur-Ching finished speaking, he even drew his sword again, and a sword wave smashed out, directly tearing a pirate ship. Demonstration. This is definitely a demonstration. At this moment, all the pirates understand this, and their faces suddenly gloomy. Assholes, are we bullying? The captain of the Flying Fish Pirates gave a loud shout, and then ordered a murderous awe-inspiring, "Give me a cannon, sink his pirate ship, and make him look at the end. As long as he sinks his pirate ship, they have nowhere to stay. At that time, I will see which one he saves first." After he finished speaking, the fort of the ship he saw was aimed at Shajur-Ching's pirate ship, Summer. Start a pair of riding wheels, pirates, start with a pair of riding wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 65 Rolling Advantage. Anna, get ready to fight. On the Summer number, Shajur-Ching's clone said to Anna behind him. Understood, Lord Natsu. Anna responded, and her body began to fluidize. Then, facing the Flying Fish Pirates, he blasted away with a mudslide that covered the sky. Don't think you can succeed. Stop underestimating people. Flying Fish Hots drank violently, and he saw that he pulled out the long sword from his waist, and just a few fish-shaped sword chi shot out, shattering the mud flow. Bang! 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 The sound of a cannonball blasting out came, and all the black cannonballs I saw were blasted towards the Summer. Hurry up and stop it, stop her. Come on, if something goes wrong with the princess, you're dead. Shajur-Ching's shadow avatar was not excited, but the old woman in the room screamed in panic. Shigen, finger pistol, thunderbolt. Shajur-Ching's shadow avatar stabbed out with his fingers in a hurry, and a thunderbolt missile slammed into the shells. Boom boom boom. Immediately, the entire sky was covered by the explosion of fire, the violent collision of air made the sea rippling, and the Summer number was shaken. Since you were looking for death, then I will fulfill you. Rankyaku, Tempest Kick, Thunder Blade. When the shadow clone got up, a terrifying thunder blade flew out, and it quickly ripped through the air and slashed towards those pirate ships. Don't underestimate people, Thunder Hunter, let you see our strength. In the face of the sharp thunder blade that can directly tear their hull, the pirates on the pirate ship resisted. Crash the boat for me, I don't believe you too, you can fight with 2 fists, but not 4. When the rest of the people resisted the lightning blade, the pirate in charge of the shelling shouted fiercely. Immediately, a pitch-black cannonball crit came. Anna, it's your turn. Shajur-Ching's clone said indifferently, don't be in a hurry. Understood. As soon as Anna Su raised her hand, there was a huge curtain of mud blocking the sky above the Summer, blocking all the shells that came over. Bang! Suddenly, there was another terrifying sound of explosion, and the big screen of mud was hit by the explosion to create huge openings. It's very powerful, this cannonball has such a powerful power, no wonder it has the courage to fight against us. A flash of light flashed in Anna's eyes, and a huge mud barrel appeared. Mud bomb. Just like a terrifying phantom, the cannonball blasted out. It's a fool's dream to even shake our steel warships with a mere ooze bomb. Look at you, Uncle Kezari, broke your attack. A pirate from the Crow Pirates disdainfully made a sound, and he rushed towards the mud bomb, bursting out with a powerful breath. But the moment they met, his expression changed instantly. The power of this mud bomb completely exceeded his expectations. Boom! He was blasted out with a bang, smashed the fence heavily, vomited blood and fell into the sea. Boom! Crack! More mud bombs came, and the hull, which was covered with a hard metal shell, was sunk in, and at the same time, there was a cracking sound. The power of this mud bomb is simply astounding. Like solid bullets, hard and powerful. No, that mud bomb is too powerful, hurry up and dodge. A group of pirates reacted immediately and couldn't help being horrified. Facing the mud bomb, they no longer dared to underestimate it, and hurriedly avoided it. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 66_absolutely crushed. Boom boom boom. I saw a piece of sawdust flying, and the ship of the Crow pirates burst into a huge hole in 3 seconds. The damage of the ship is quite serious, and it has already made a sound of overwhelmed. Bastard, how dare you treat my baby like this, I want you to die. Seeing this scene, the captain of the Crow pirates, the Crow Jack Ray's eyes were instantly filled with bloodshot eyes, and he wanted to rush over to kill Anna. Do you think you can do it all? Shazher Ching's voice suddenly came from behind him, and Jack Ray couldn't help but feel a sudden sense of crisis. He exclaimed in shock, when did you come? In his impression, isn't Shazher Ching fighting the flying fish hots? Why did he suddenly appear behind him again? Could it be that the flying fish hots just lost like this? Don't underestimate me, I am a Crow Devil Fruit person, and I am best at speed. It's just, before the Crow Jack Ray said the last word, degree, before he even had time to make a move. His chest was pierced by a scorching thunder gun. I'm Jack Ray, I'm here, stop, I am really unwilling. At the moment when Jack Ray the Crow fell, he finally caught a glimpse of the flying fish, hots, who had fallen in a pool of blood. He couldn't help but feel remorse in his heart. He understood that they had provoked a real killing god this time. Raven Jack Ray fell to the ground, evolution point +15. One knife flow, land bird. Shazher Ching stepped into the moon step and rose into the air again, shaking the long sword in his hand, and a wave of flying birds shot out. Wow! No pirate could resist this move at all, and all who tried to resist were ruthlessly torn apart. Then, after the sword wave tore apart 3 pirate ships in a row, the aftermath continued unabated, tearing a large opening nearly 50 meters long on the sea before giving up. Mud King fighting fist. Anna shouted violently, and swung her arm forward, a large amount of mud gushing out from her body, turning into a hard fist. With the wind and thunder whistling, the Crow pirates were sunk with their people and ships. Gollum. A group of other pirates couldn't help but swallow their saliva, and their hearts were completely withdrawn. Boom boom boom. On the Shah, Shazher Ching's shadow clone controlled the ship's shells and attacked in all directions. The power of this shell is very strong, and in the flames of the explosion, 4 or 5 pirate ships were blown open one by one. These pirate groups in the Kukuli Sea are not opponents at all. Surrender, we surrender. A pirate ship captain raised his hands in despair and surrendered without any hesitation. What about the rest of you, do you want to keep fighting? Shazher Ching stopped the attack after hearing the words, and asked condescendingly like a god. Surrender, we surrender. These people looked at each other with fear in their eyes, and then said in unison. To make these daring pirates in the Kukuli Sea area surrender directly in despair. Is this the horror of the big pirate with a bounty of 400 million? The tens of millions of Bailey spent is really worth it. It seems that there is no problem with this trip. With him around, there should be no pirates that can stop us. The old women who went to take care of the princess of the Cartier kingdom who had been dowry and looked at the scene in front of her thought so in her heart. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 67 Earn a lot of money. It's okay to surrender. However, your actions just now really scared me. So, the brothers should all know the rules of the road. It's scary, so it must be interesting. I don't want more, just come with 4 or 5 billion Baileys. Shazher Ching looked at these people, and there was a small smile on the corner of his mouth. Hearing Shazher Ching's words, these pirates almost vomited blood. Brother, you really think this money is not money? 4 or 5 billion, do you know what that concept is? This is to kill them all. I am afraid that there is only so much money. You don't be too. When a pirate heard Shajur-Ching's words, he immediately shouted angrily. However, before he could finish speaking, his chest was pierced by a thunder gun and fell to the ground. Oops, I'm so sorry, I just slipped my hand, I'm sorry. Shajur-Ching scratched his head and said with a smile on his face, who will make my hand slip next? Oops, it's really tangled. His eyes kept circling back and forth on the pirates, as if picking prey. The pirates who watched were terrified, for fear that they would be chosen. They all understand that Shajur-Ching is a naked threat. If you don't give money, you will die. Money and life, you can only choose one. Damn. However, let them hand it over like this. They have accumulated the money that they have finally obtained for most of their lives, how can they agree? This is all accumulated point by point in their life of licking blood on the tip of the knife. It can be said that they exchanged their lives for it. However, they also know very well that if they don't hand over their money, today is their last day. After a brief struggle, they chose to sacrifice their wealth to save their lives. The remaining green hills are there, don't be afraid of running out of firewood. Okay, we admit it. A pirate captain clenched his fists and said. This will be the best choice you've ever made, Anna, get ready to move the money. When Shajur-Ching heard the words, she put away the long knife and stepped onto the summer number. Soon, these pirates obediently handed over their money. The treasures I saw, there were piles of gold coins that had dimmed. There are also exquisite crowns made of pure gold and inlaid with various gems. There are also necklaces strung with pearls the size of quail eggs. As well as agate, going, silver, various gems, and even a treasure map that has turned yellow. That's right, it's all babies. Anna, I'll leave it to you. Shajur-Ching's eyes suddenly burst into a warm light, and then let Anna start to carry it. The biggest advantage of the mud fruit is that it has a very large capacity and can move things such as treasures very quickly. Thank you for taking care of the business, and welcome to come again next time. The shop is innocent and the price is fair. Shajur-Ching said with a smile. The pirates who had just seen the bleeding just wanted to rush up and beat Shajur-Ching. Don't bring such bullying. Just now this time, they have already emptied their home. Shajur-Ching actually wanted to do it again, wouldn't that squeeze them all dry? And let no one live. Shajur-Ching, just like this, took a boat full of harvest and left. Anna, organize it and put it away. Hey, with these treasures, plus the bounty from flying fish hots and the others, it's another big income. Shajur-Ching is like a small financial fan with a careful calculation, her face is full of happiness. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 68 The Wisdom of Tyrant Tiger Eugene. It seems that we are one step closer to the adult's goal. Anna pursed her lips and quietly sorted out her money. Is this the power of the big pirates? It's too profitable, and a trip is hundreds of millions of bellies. No wonder there are so many people rushing to the sea to become pirates, so it is. The old woman watched Anna organize her treasures and kept swallowing her saliva. That's a lot of money, 4 or 5 billion, enough for them to squander their whole lives. And this is just one harvest of Shajur-Ching. To say no jealousy would be a lie. But they only dare to be jealous, let them put it into practice, they absolutely dare not. Natsumi Young and the others fought with the fire dragon and the flying fish pirates, and other pirates in the Kukuli Sea have all witnessed it. Naturally, in the face of Shajur-Ching who could easily overthrow the fire dragon pirates, they did not dare to stop her. Even the most powerful tyrant tiger pirates in the Kukuli Sea area only looked at Shajur-Ching from a distance before backing away. Rather than conflict with Shajur-Ching. The tyrant tiger pirates didn't even dare to conflict with Shajur-Ching, and the other pirates didn't even dare to. Captain, why don't we besiege him? There are so many pirates in the Kukuli waters, what are we afraid of him doing alone? Yeah, with our strength, we are afraid of what the two of them will do. Watching Shajur-Ching, who was carrying a lot of treasures, leave, all the crew members of the Tyrant Tiger pirates couldn't sit still and asked Eugene to Tyrant Tiger. He hasn't been serious all the time. You saw it just now, that guy can actually walk on the sea. Do you think that facing Shajur-Ching, who can use the sea as flat ground, what advantages do we landlubbers have? Tyrant Tiger Eugene cast a glance at his subordinates and said. This sentence immediately silenced these people. They thought about it, and it seemed that they were really not Shajur-Ching's opponents, and they might have caused themselves to be killed. Okay, don't provoke this guy from now on, at least don't provoke him at sea. Eugene sighed. Let's go back, search where they fought before, and maybe eat some soup. His piercing eyes swept across the audience, and Hong said, you have to remember that in the face of absolute strength, you should admit it if you should, and don't lose your life impulsively. It's not a shame to surrender to the power of the strong. Anyway, our goal is not to find One Piece, and we don't need a good reputation. The only purpose of our Tyrant Tiger pirates is to loot goods. In a limited time, it is enough to be able to eat and drink spicy food. Understood. The crew immediately responded. 2 days later. The Kingdom of Moa, the port of Bolivia. Shajur-Ching and others just arrived, and there are already a large number of people waiting here at the port. It's the princess of the Kingdom of Cartier, right? Luo-Zi, Minister of Internal Affairs of the Kingdom of Moa, is waiting for the arrival of Her Royal Highness. A Minister of the Interior in armor, looking at Shajur-Ching and the others, said without much respect. Trouble the Home Secretary, please lead the way. Those old women appeared at the bow of the boat, but they didn't dare to put on a bossy look, and said very politely. I've already brought you here, please pay the commission, Minister of the Interior. Shajur-Ching cast a glance at Luo-Zi and said. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 69 Crisis is coming. He, it's already ready, please check it out. When Luo-Zi heard Isho, he pointed to a pile of boxes behind him and said. Anna, it's over to you. Shajur-Ching glanced lazily and said to Anna. Understood. Anna reached out and grabbed a hand, and a huge palm that covered the sky stretched out and swallowed all the boxes. It took about 10 minutes to complete the inventory, and Anna couldn't help but flash a hint of surprise in her eyes. She said, Sir, it seems that there are more than 10 million Baileys. Hearing this, Shajur-Ching was also surprised, and looked at Luo-Zi, Minister of the Interior. Minister of the Interior, could this be the legendary bribery? He had a playful look on his face. Ha, don't misunderstand the Thunder Hunter, this is not a bribe, it is a hard fee for the two of you from His Majesty the King. Luo-Zi Isho explained, our king is very fond of making friends with the powerful, and the extra 10 million is a gift. How? I don't know if my Kingdom of Moa can get into the eyes of the Thunder Hunter. After listening to this, Shajur-Ching couldn't help raising the corners of his mouth and said, Interesting, you are not afraid that the world's official government will find out and find you trouble. As long as we don't do things that subvert the world's righteous government and give them enough ransom, they won't care. Rose Isho, laughing very unscrupulously. Looks like, your Moa kingdom is really good. It's interesting, well, I've made this friend temporarily. Shajur-Ching Isho, but when Luo-Zi was just relieved, Shajur-Ching's voice sounded again. Of course, if you let me know what you are planning to do to me. Or do something wrong to me in the name of me, and you are responsible for the consequences. Definitely, don't worry, Your Excellency Thunder Hunter, we know what. A cold sweat instantly appeared on Luo-Zi's forehead, and said with an unnatural smile. Then let's wait and see. Anna, return home. Shajur-Ching took a deep look at Luo-Zi, and the Sha turned around and drove away. And the old woman who watched all this, was shocked. How could even a country like Moa Kingdom be so polite to him? How could this Thunder Hunter be so powerful? An LT, P&GT. She really didn't expect that Shajur-Ching could be treated so seriously by the Kingdom of Moa. After all, before that, she didn't take Shajur-Ching in her eyes at all. In her eyes, Shajur-Ching is nothing more than a scum of the sea, and she doesn't deserve to be taken seriously by her. But now, her mind has changed. My lord, our harvest this time has completely surpassed the historical achievements. It seems that Seymour can expand the manpower once. Anna looked at Shajur-Ching, who was lying on the bow of the boat with Erlang's legs crossed, and said with a relaxed look. Of course, if it weren't for the fact that there are many pirates in the Kukuli Sea area, I wouldn't accept this kind of kingdom escort mission. Shajur-Ching said without opening his eyes. Sir Ganching, you came here just because of these pirates. I thought you had a crush on that princess. Anna joked with a wicked smile. Hearing this, Shajur-Ching couldn't help rolling his eyes. Time soon came to the evening in Shajur-Ching's leisure. After simply solving the dinner, the two of them went to sleep and rested. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 70 Big Night Knocks App. Not long after the two fell asleep, a dark pirate ship with a gold coin-shaped bow quietly approached Shajur-Ching's pirate ship. Jia, Shajur-Ching, Anna, starting from this evening, you are my puppets of Lord Anos. It's your honor to be seen by the great Anos. From now on, fight for me forever. A middle-aged man like an aristocrat, looking at the summer number like a sleeping dragon in the distance, his eyes flickered with ferocious light. In the sky above the summer ship, there was a woman in black suits suspended in the sky, and when she waved her hand, a pink mist was scattered. And Anos actually took out a bottle of green potion and drank it. There is a saying that it is easy to snatch and block it, but it is difficult to defend against dark arrows. Thunder Hunter, you may not have imagined that you will be subdued in your sleep. This is the fog of power, but it was specially prepared by Dallas for you. Anos looked at the pink mist sprinkled by the strong-dressed woman, and his eyes were full of pride. Of course, he didn't know that at this moment, just below Shajur-Ching's ship, a pale man who looked extremely weak had also arrived. Hey, I didn't expect that I was not the only one who coveted this Thunder Hunter. It's interesting, and I ran into a colleague in such a place. Then let me see how the Thunder Hunter will respond. If conditions permit, I don't mind a mantis catching the cicadas, and the oriole is behind. He secretly restrained his breath, and then released a self-made periscope to observe all this secretly. And inside the boat. Interesting, I didn't expect that on this big night, I, Shajur-Ching, would be able to meet a sap. Besides, there are two groups of people who beat the sap. If I turned into someone else today, I might have been planted in your hands. But unfortunately, you met me. After Shajur-Ching separated the shadow clone on the bed, she used the transformation technique to become a decoration on the shadow clone, and waited silently. Although he didn't know what the smoke was doing, there was no doubt that there was absolutely no benefit to inhaling it. After 3 minutes. It should be almost there, let's get started. Anos looked at the summer ship, which was already shrouded in pink mist, and issued an attack order. Immediately, he saw a group of strong-breathing people behind him, rushing towards the summer issue. Who are you, want to do? Immediately, Shajur-Ching's exclamation and roar came from the room, but immediately, it stopped. And Shajur-Ching's roar also awakened Anna. However, just as she was about to move, she suddenly felt dizzy in her head, and she felt powerless. Moreover, before she could take any further action, a basin of seawater was poured directly on her body. All of her mobility was immediately taken away. Then, she was tied up and stuffed into a tank full of seawater. Immediately, it was crystal clear and the scenery was alluring. Who are you, who want to do what are you? Anna's face was full of danger. Looking at the uninvited guests in front of her, she asked in a weak but cold voice. You don't need to know who we are. The woman on the left said coldly. You just need to know your end is here, that's it. The man on the right grinned Isho, full of tyranny. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 71 Count you acquainted. Next, you will feel the enthusiasm of Anno's Sama. A beauty like you, it's too bad to follow the Thunder Hunter. It was the same man, with a malicious look in his eyes. His gaze, unscrupulously darting to and fro on Anna, was extremely hot. What's wrong with your Nazi, sir? What are you wanting to do? Anna asked in a deep voice. The Thunder Hunter has been captured by me. As for our purpose, isn't it very simple? I want you to become my lifelong slave. At this time, a proud voice came. Seeing Anos walked in with a smug look on his face, he looked really gentle. However, the evil in those eyes completely destroyed his image. Especially when I saw the crystal clear Anna, the wolf light came out directly in his eyes. Who are you? What do you want to do? Anna looked at Anos and said fiercely. Insha Anos, a businessman on the Great Route, of course, he also collects strong men part-time. Anno introduced himself very politely. He looked at Anna, whose body was full of tension, and tutted his tongue in praise. It's really a good figure. After training, it must feel good to enjoy. You want to train me to be your lust slave. An LT, P and GT. Looking at Anos like this, Anna's eyes suddenly became cold and severe. That's right, why are you scared, or maybe you're looking forward to it? Anos heard the words with a very gentleman's smile and said, of course, you don't have to struggle anymore, you have no chance of winning today. Anna, what did you do to Lord Naz? I want to see your Lord Naz so much, then I will satisfy you. Anos looked at the woman beside him and gave her a wink. The latter retreated, but within a few breaths, Shajar Ching, who was bound by the sea-stone chain, was brought over. How? It's time for you to give up. Don't delusionally think that your Lord Naz can protect you, because this time, he can't protect himself. Looking at Shajar Ching, who was so powerless, Anos said with great pride. Ahem, I didn't expect my Thunder Hunter to have today. I don't know, what is the so-called businessman status of your Excellency Anos? I think you shouldn't mind letting me, the caged bird, get to know you a little better when I'm finally free. Shajar Ching said in a soft tone. Listening to Anos was really elated, a little overwhelmed. I didn't expect that the legendary Hunter of Thunder was such a cowardly person. But anyway, since you asked the question sincerely, then I will tell you with great mercy and fulfill your last wish. Anos didn't think that Shajar Ching had any chance to turn defeat into victory, and said, the industry I am undertaking is the weapons industry. What I'm connecting with is the kingdoms of the Great Route. As for the benefits, Gia, there are definitely more than you think. I see, so you are targeting me, are you planning to tame me as your free coolie? Hearing Shajar Ching's words, Anuo suddenly laughed, as expected of the Thunder Hunter, he is indeed smart. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 72 Who told you that I am a capable person? Since you know your own destiny, please cooperate a little bit. In this way, you can also suffer a little less suffering in the following process. Hearing this, Shajar Ching asked again, then what are you going to do with Anna? Such a beautiful girl, you don't want to be like Tenryubito, train her to be your daughter slave. Ha, you're as smart as you, and as soon as you guess, I'm really looking forward to you more and more. Anos didn't answer directly, but his words already gave Shajar Ching a positive answer. Thunder Hunter, is it really so easy to surrender? Why, I always feel a little strange. From a muzzle on the left side of the Sha, this pale man heard the faint voice and thought in his heart. Just when he was thinking like this, Shajar Ching's words came faintly again. How could a woman as good as Anna suffer the humiliation of a gentle scum like you? That's really inappropriate. After all, Anna is my woman, and only I can touch her body. If you disturb my woman, the consequences will be very serious. When Anos heard Shajur-Ching's words, he was stunned for a moment, and then he couldn't help laughing contemptuously. What about the woman who robbed you? Thunder Hunter, just ask you to be so bad now, what can you do? An LT, P and GT. Since you already said that Anna is your woman, that's just right, let me see how you feel when other men bully, humiliate your own woman in front of you. An LT, P and GT. Ha ha ha, come on, try to stop me and keep your woman safe from me. But it's a pity, you can't do it, you can only watch it now. At most, you will be quick to talk and stare at me. Anos said, and reached out to Anna's chest. Anos, you know what? I wanted to kill you after a little fun. Shajur-Ching suddenly raised his head, and the corners of his mouth were full of playful expressions. However, after hearing that you have an estate, I decided to save your life. Then, a terrifying thunderbolt appeared from his body. Those two people who were carrying Shajur-Ching were hit in an instant. The man and the woman beside Anna were also surprised and quickly retreated. But as soon as he made a move, he saw Shajur-Ching shoot out 1,000 copies of thunder and knock them flying. And nailed to the wall, deprived of mobility. How is it possible? Why are you still able to use the ability? You are not by Seastone. Anos looked at Shajur-Ching in disbelief. However, before he finished speaking, the Shajur-Ching he saw had rapidly enlarged in his eyes. Then, he grabbed his neck with both hands. Who told you that I am a devil fruit power user? Shajur-Ching's face was full of playfulness, his waist suddenly exploded, and another Shajur-Ching appeared. Seeing this scene, Anos felt that his brain was not enough. Two Shajur-Chings, what's the situation? At this time, a figure suddenly rushed in, all of them were Anos's subordinates. What do you want to do to Lord Anos? Hurry up and let go of Anos-sama. They all looked at Shajur-Ching and shouted loudly. Do you have a good group of subordinates? I'm very curious, what kind of devil fruit power are you? You can make so many strong people listen to you obediently. The strength of Vivi on Shajur-Ching's arm increased, and Aniston struggled. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 73 Anna is so angry. Seeing this, his subordinates were in a hurry and wanted to go forward, but Shajur-Ching said, if you don't want to see him die like this, you can go forward. As soon as these words came out, those few people suddenly stopped with a tremor. They were so afraid of the death of this Anos. Seeing this, Shajur-Ching smiled even happier. He seems to have found something very interesting. Anna, the interrogation will be handed over to you. Just right, the Seastone chain also has it. Don't play dead, I still have some use for this person. Anna, who is trapped in the sea, has been rescued. Shajur-Ching and Shajur-Ching next to Anna looked at each other and said, my deity, how about we deal with these people? Not to mention, this guy's fog effect is not bad, I just smelled a little bit, and I felt a little weak. Then you have to work hard, clone, don't be killed easily. Shajur-Ching beside Anna said to Shajur-Ching who was shackled by Seastone. It turned out that it was the deity who saved Anna. It is the shadow clone that is shackled by Seastone. Don't worry, Lord Naz, I will definitely take care of Anos. Anna took Anos from Shajur-Ching's hands with a smile on her face. Then, let's get started, everyone. Shajur-Ching's deity glanced at these men in black, and the lightning flashed and disappeared in place. Watch out, he's coming. Take the opportunity to rescue Lord Anos. Seeing this, the men in black couldn't help shouting. Save Anos. I think you should take care of yourselves first. Shajur-Ching's deity appeared next to a man in black, and it was a knife. Bang! Not to mention, this Anos subordinate still has some strength, and he actually blocked Shajur-Ching's blow. Hey! Hey! Several others rushed towards the shadow clones of Anna and Shajur-Ching. Among them, two people stopped Shajur-Ching's shadow clone, and the other three attacked Anna, trying to rescue Anos in her hands. Mud flowed tentacles. Upon seeing this, Anna said coldly, and she saw several fierce tentacles popping out of her body. These men in black immediately dodged when they saw this, but just as they dodged out and landed, they suddenly realized that their bodies were actually short. They couldn't help being shocked, and they looked quickly, but they saw that their feet had turned into a sticky swamp at some point, trapping them. Not good. These people suddenly shouted badly in their hearts, and when they wanted to dodge out, they suddenly heard Shajirching's voice in their ears. Chindori Ryu. A terrifying thunder and lightning spread in an instant. Anna immediately became elemental, and those people in black were miserable. The current of 15 million volts instantly made them lose all ability to move. No. Seeing this scene, Anos, who was captured by Anna, could not help but scream in horror. Then it's time for you to leave too. Shajirching's shadow avatar was instantly wrapped in the lightning strike armor, and the speed was instantly increased, and the two were kicked out with one kick. Shigen, finger pistol. Shajirching's avatars followed him like a shadow, and came to one of them. The index finger of his right hand was extremely sharp and pierced his chest under his gaze. This man in black has only a force value of 75. It's not that difficult to kill him. The man in black falls, evolution point +15. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 74. Do not play cards according to the routine. How dare you show your back to the enemy, it's really courting death. Suddenly, the voice of another man in black who was knocked out came from behind Shajirching. He saw that he turned into a lion man, and stabbed Shajirching's back with a piercing paw. Show your back to the enemy. Hee, are you talking about yourself? Just when this claw was about to hit Shajirching, he suddenly appeared behind the black-clothed man who had attacked. Goodbye. A sword cold light, without giving him any chance to resist, stabbed from his chest. Evolution point +20. Impossible. Until his death, the lion in black never thought that Shajirching's speed could be so fast. PFF'd. 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 There were also 3 tearing sounds from Anna's side, and the 3 paralyzed men in black saw their chests all pierced. In the whole scene, only the man in black who fought against Shajirching's deity was left. It's really amazing to have a strong person like you in the first half of the Great Route. However, what a pity, you and I are enemies. Shajirching's body shone with lightning, and suddenly launched a high-speed battle. Shajirching's sudden change made the man in black at a loss, but within 2 minutes, he died under Qiandiao's sharp spear. His force value is as high as 140. Killing him brings 40 evolution points to Shajirching. Then, Anos, it's you next. Shajirching released the shadow clone and looked at Anos, who was bound by Anna and bound by sea stone chains. You want to subdue me, and you want to covet Anna's body. You really have a lot of courage. Looking at Anos with a terrified face, Shamuyang took another look at Anna and said, you can deal with it, it's enough to leave him alive. Hey, I'm very interested in his industry. Shajirching showed a standard financial fan's smile, and then pushed the door and walked out. The sea breeze has already blown away the fog that enveloped the ship. Woo, woo, woo. Seeing that Shajirching actually walked out like this, without giving himself the right to negotiate at all, Aniston struggled in horror. This is totally out of the way. Since he was spared his life, wasn't it just for negotiating conditions? But this Shajirching has a good relationship, so she doesn't do this at all. Keeping him is purely for Anna to vent her anger. He can already think of what Anna will do to her next. When he thought of what he said earlier that he would train Anna to be his daughter-slave, he wanted to slap himself now. It's okay to be complacent. It's good now, fall into the hands of others, let them be slaughtered. Anos wanted to ask for mercy, but there was absolutely no way to speak. On deck. Your Excellency, since you are here, why do you have to leave again? You have been hiding on the right side of my ship for so long, don't you plan to meet me? We are really valued by you. Two groups of people came at once. I don't know what your purpose is. Shajirqing looked at the sea and said without looking back. After about 10 seconds, the pale man appeared behind Shajirqing. How did you find me? My breath should be hidden perfectly. He asked with a little puzzlement in his eyes. Hee, this is very simple, as long as the pirates who have been to the New World should understand what's going on. Shajirqing turned around, saw his confused look, and smiled. Within the detection range of observation hockey, no matter how well you hide your breath, you will still be detected by me. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 75 There is no free lunch. Hearing these words, the pale man suddenly showed a sudden realization. Then, what is your purpose? Anos is to turn us both into his slaves and his combat power. And LT, P and GT. You don't think the same as her. Shajirqing Vivi said with a narrowed eye. Of course I'm not like him, I don't care to do his dirty things. The pale-faced man said, my goal is just to get the devil fruit of Anna, the daughter of Mudflow. Oh, for Anna's devil fruit ability. Why is it Anna's devil fruit? Shajirqing is very curious. Because only the Logia devil fruit can make my strength rapidly increase, and then I can rescue my sister from a certain man. He clenched his fists, his face full of hatred. Oh, rescue your sister. Don't know who that man is. Maybe I can help you. Shajirqing suddenly showed a fox-like smile. How about Gecko Moria, the great pirate who perches on a terrifying three-masted ship? Do you dare to be right with him? The pale man looked at Shajirqing with provocation and contempt in his eyes. It seems to be saying that Shajirqing would never dare. Hee, whether I dare or not is one thing, whether I can save it or not is another. It's easy for me to save people. Tell me, what can you give me? There is no such thing as a free lunch in this world, you need to pay for anything you do, and... Speaking of this, Shamuyang suddenly bullied him, grabbed him by the neck and picked him up, and said coldly, breaking into my ship in the middle of the night, trying to get my devil fruit, this is enough for me to kill. You're dead. I can give you more advanced technology. The pale man suddenly struggled and said very uncomfortable. Oh, more advanced technology. Hee, I don't seem to need your technology. Shajirqing, Isho, said. No, you will need, and you must want, the technology to make more powerful firearms. The pale man said firmly. Oh, how can you see it? Shamuyang showed a strong expression of interest, and things became more and more interesting. If you're not interested, you won't suddenly loosen the restraint on me, and you won't raise your eyebrows. Frowning, this is a subconscious reaction made by people when they are interested. The pale man looked at Shajirqing confidently and replied. Hee, you are quite observant, tell me, why does Moria arrest your sister, what is so special about her that attracts Moria? Shajirqing didn't believe that Moria would be so bored that she grabbed a woman for no reason. In order to make me his subordinate, create a powerful weapon for him. Let him once again have the strength to compete in the New World, and finally defeat the 4 Emperors Kaido and climb to the top of the New World. This pale man gritted his teeth and said with hatred on his face. Then why don't you accept his threat? If he gets angry and kills your sister, then you won't regret it for the rest of your life. Shamuyang said calmly. Because I can't trust him, I can't guarantee that I will obey him and my sister will be fine. He replied without thinking. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 76 Shajirqing is sour. Oh, so you can trust me so much. You're not afraid that I'll go back on my word and let you fall short. You know, we pirates are the most unreputable group. Natsumi Young asked with interest. Because now I have no choice but to fight. If I fall short in the end, I will never live alone, I am ready for this. The pale-faced man clenched his fists as he spoke, his tone decisive. Okay, since you believe me so much, then I also give you two options. The first rule, surrender to me, I will help you rescue your sister, and do things for me from now on. The second rule, reject me, and then die at my hands. You will never be able to save your sister. Shajirching gave these two paths. How could there be a chance for this pale man to choose? He can only choose the first one. After all, no one should choose the second one. Life is so beautiful, why seek death? I choose the first one. The pale man chose the first path without any resistance. He didn't think it was such a shame to surrender to Shajirching. You don't hesitate at all. But I'm going to say something ugly, and if you surrender to me, you must do things for me. Speaking of this, Shajirching's tone suddenly became cold, and said, if I find out that you are not a minister to me, then don't blame my subordinates for being ruthless. I will never tolerate traitorous behavior, you understand. Hearing these words, the pale man took a long breath and said, as long as you don't disrespect me, I will not disrespect you. If you disrespect me, don't blame me for having a different opinion. Okay, then let's wait and see. Give me your sister's information, and I will give you back a living person. Also, since you're already mine, it's time to tell me your name. I can't let me call you this and that person in the future. My name is Gers, please give me more advice in the future, Lord Naz. This pale man was originally called Jeers, but the name is quite interesting. Ah! It was at this time that Anos' screams suddenly came from the room. Anos' screams were so terrifying that it was horrifying. Even Shajirching couldn't help but get goosebumps. It seems that Anos has brought back some bad memories of Anna. After Shajirching said this, he looked at Anos' ship. In a minute, on Anos' ship. As expected of someone who is a boss, I just enjoy it, I can't do it. Shajirching looked at the interior of the ship, which was beautifully and luxuriously decorated, and revealed extravagance everywhere, and couldn't help sighing. Then, he searched all the way to the room where the belongings were stacked in the ship. 3 minutes later. He said that he has an industry that makes a lot of money. Now it seems that he has never lied to me. Look at the piles of gems, pearls, various going sculptures, and artifacts on the ground in front of you. And all kinds of sophisticated firearms, and all kinds of swords that exude cold light. Shajirching admitted that he was sour. What is a rich man? This is it. Those in this room are worth at least 200 or 300 million. Shajirching only felt that her breathing was a little short. He is just a common man, and seeing so much money, it is naturally impossible for him not to be moved. Don't you see Gills, who is on the side, also swallowed? Seeing so much money at once, who can not be moved? Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 77 Target, Moria. Shajirching moved away all of Anos' wealth without the slightest politeness. As for his ship, Shajirching did not destroy it. This ship can also be sold for a good price. And when Shajirching and the two returned to the summer number, Anna had already come out of the room. Take a breath. Looking at Anna with blood on her body, Shajirching asked. Sir Shajirching ordered, naturally dare not forget. Anna nodded and said, however, there is only one breath left. Master Shajirching must be mentally prepared. As she said that, she looked at Jeers next to Shajirching and asked, who is this? Oh, to introduce you, this is our new partner, Gilzer. Shajirching just reacted and introduced it. Your Excellency Anna, please give me more advice. Gilzer looked at Anna Isho, very kind. It's just that, from his pale face, no matter how you look at it, it feels a bit inconsistent. Please advise. Anna said, then looked at Shajirching again, and said, Lord Shajirching, where are we going next? The Chamber of Commerce has been established, and the guard force must be strengthened. If there are no accidents, Our next goal is to recruit strong people and protect the Chamber of Commerce. But now it looks like we have 2 more things to do. Shajurching looked at Jeers and said, the first thing, as a condition for him to do things for me, I have to go to the great pirate Moria and rescue Jeers's sister from him. Second, take over the power of Anos, which is why I kept him alive. If it weren't for the fact that he had a property in his hands, he would have died by now. Anna nodded after hearing this, and said clearly, I knew that Lord Shajurching would save his life for the industry in his hands. Listening to what he said, Shajurching, Isho, said, there is no way, who made us so poor? Besides, don't give up the money that comes to your door. It's just that saving people needs a long-term plan. Moria is not an ordinary person, and it is even more dangerous than the iron-armed Kuga. Shajurching's eyes narrowed and he said, after all, he is the one who once competed with Kaido. Even if he fails, his once mighty subordinates defect or die, but his strength should not be underestimated. After all, it's a person who has already reached 320 million Bailey's bounty 4 or 5 years ago. Don't be careless. To deal with Moria, Shajurching really can't go in such a hurry, he needs to be prepared. It's rare to see you being so cautious, Lord Natsu. It seems that this Moria really makes you very afraid. Anna said in surprise. Of course, after all, he is different from ordinary pirates. His strength cannot be underestimated. There is a saying that Shajurching didn't say, that is, if you can become Shichibukai and be recognized by Marine, how can you be weak? Moria does not look strong in the original work, but that is because they are all compared with the strong. Look at those who compare to him. Doflamingo, Jinbei, Big Bear, which one doesn't have the strength to own a party's overlord? Compared with these people, Moria is naturally not that outstanding. But compared with the current Shajurching, he can already be said to be very powerful. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 78 Be prepared. I don't know how long it will take to prepare. I'm afraid my sister won't be able to wait that long. Moria only gave me half a month to think about it. If it is overdue, he will tear up the ticket. Half a month, this is my last bottom line. As soon as Shajurching said that dealing with Moria was a little troublesome, Gilza's face suddenly turned a little unsightly. Half a month. No, it shouldn't take that long. Shajurching looked at the evolution points he had accumulated so far, a total of 1620 points. To deal with Moria, another 10 days should be enough. Don't worry, I will do what I promised you. Give me 10 days, and your sister will appear in front of you safely. It's not that I shirk, but that if you act rashly, you may not only be unable to save your sister, but may even put your sister in a more dangerous situation. Such a situation is definitely not what you want to see. Haste is not enough. I think you should understand this truth. Shajurching looked at Jeers, who had a gloomy face, with a serious look. I see. Gills nodded, but couldn't help clenching his palms. Then, listening to him, he continued, but if you can, please leave as soon as possible. I'm afraid Moria has limited patience and can't wait 15 days. I did something drastic to my sister in order to persecute me. At that time, I really regret it. I understand. Shajurching nodded and said in his heart, if you change someone with a weaker strength, I will definitely go to the rescue immediately without saying a word. But Moria's force value is at least 250, not an existence we can fight now. In order to save your sister safely, you must have enough strength. As a member of the Whitebeard Pirates, Shajurching understands how powerful Moria is. In the face of such an enemy, you can't just do it. Must move and move. After a simple tidying up, they embarked on a journey to recover Anos' forces ahead. 3 days later. Finally, it's done. This guy Anos is really good at making such a big industry silently. However, this industry is only a small player. It seems that the water in the One Piece King of Pirates is really deep. Although the recovery of Anos, forces was not very smooth, there were no twists and turns. Anos has fallen, and it is enough to promote others to manage. Money moves people's hearts. Clear rewards and punishments. As long as Shajur-Ching's actions are in the interests of most people, the rest is to shock and intimidate opponents. At this point, a force has been subdued, and naturally some people are willing to do things for Shajur-Ching. If there is a little more favor, dividends, etc., it is enough to ensure that this force will not be out of his control for more than 10 years. During this whole process, Anna and Jules looked stunned. However, when they asked if Shajur-Ching often did this kind of thing, Shajur-Ching replied, "No, this is my first practice. It's just that I didn't expect my practice to be unprecedentedly successful. Everyone cooperated so well, and there was no flaw at all." In this regard, Anna and Gilles just want to say that there are geniuses in this world, but there is only one genius like Shajur-Ching who can pretend to be forceful. For Shajur-Ching's silent act of pretending to be coercive, Anna expressed her conviction. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 79 Mock Town, Bellamy. Okay, one thing has finally been completed, then, it's time to do the next thing, recruit guards. Anna, I will split up a clone and recruit guards on the sea with you. And myself, I will go to some special places, recruit some powerful people, and set up a special escort team. Saying that, Shajur-Ching looked at Jeers with a sullen face again, and said, the purpose of recruiting special guards is to increase the confidence of rescue. Hearing this, Jeers's face looked a little better. So, under Shajur-Ching's order, Shajur-Ching and the others split into two, each heading in their own direction. And the person Shajur-Ching is looking for is not above the sea, but in the sky. Enel from Sky Island, Guro Guro no Mi, Rumble Rumble Fruit, capable person, strong. It's just that it's not an easy task to go to Sky Island. Shajur-Ching sighed and drove the boat to Mock Town. He wants to use the updraft there to go to Sky Island. On the way to Mock Town, he turned on the system and used the 2,220 evolution points accumulated during this time. Among them, 2,000 points are converted into force points to increase strength. Another 220 points are added to the evolution of the shaker. Host, Shajur-Ching. Writing wheel I state, 3 hook jade, 7,000 10,000. Strength, 223. Skills, Chidori Ninjutsu, Thunderbolt. Lightning Armor. Illusion. Gold Binding, Illusion. Murder in a Dream. Substitute, Transform, Shadow Clone. Observation Hockey, Armament Hockey. Kami E. Life Returns, Shigen Finger Pistol, Rankyaku, Tempest Kick, Moon Step. Swordsman Swordsmanship. In just one day, Shajur-Ching arrived at Mock Town. No way, time is running out. After all, Enel wasn't the only one he wanted to recruit. Moreover, in 7 days, he will go to the Devil's Bark. It also takes 2 or 3 days to transition in between. In other words, the time left for him is only 4 to 5 days. The arrival of Shajur-Ching caused great turmoil in this Mock Town. No way, Shajur-Ching is now a big pirate with a bounty of 457 million. After all, a fraction of his bounty is 2 million more Baileys than the most powerful pirate here, Bellamy the Hyena. What does the Thunder Hunter want to do? What can there be to attract him here in our place? Is it to recruit Bellamy? But he has already joined the power of that power. Could it be that the Thunder Hunter wants to fight that power? It should be to recruit Bellamy, otherwise, what else is there for him in our Mock Town? After Shajur-Ching came here, all the residents of Mock Town guessed in their hearts. Interesting, the existence of the Thunder Hunter is willing to condescend to come here. What do you want to do? Is it just like those stupid people guessed, to recruit me? But unfortunately, I have joined the Don Quixote family. A man with blonde hair and a long scar on his left eye, with an arrogant smile on his mouth, looked at Shajur-Ching who came to Mock Town. He is the first master of this mock town, Bellamy the hyena with a bounty of 55 million Bailey. Hey, Thunder Hunter, what do you want to do here? Are there people in places like ours who are worthy of your trip? Bellamy looked at Shajur-Ching with a grin and asked. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 80. What are you? But how could Shajur-Ching take care of him? He's here to find Mont Blanc Cricket. He is the only one who can predict the rising current near this mock town. When Shajur-Ching wants to go to Sky Island, he has to take advantage of this rising ocean current. Secondly, Shajur-Ching intends to replenish energy a little in this mock town. As for this Bellamy, he has no interest at all. Hey, can't you hear what I'm saying, Thunder Hunter, are you ignoring me? Seeing Shajur-Ching ignored him, Bellamy got angry and stopped in front of Shajur-Ching. Give you 3 seconds to get out of the way. Shajur-Ching gave him a cold look and said. Then try it if you have the guts. Tell you, I am a member of the Don Quixote family, dare to touch me, be careful Lord Doflamingo. Bellamy's face was unscrupulous, but before the words were finished, the whole face was directly smothered by Shajur-Ching. Boom! Bellamy's head was directly shoved into the ground by Shajur-Ching, and the ground blasted a large pit over 5 meters, with lightning flashes and gravel splashing. Goodbye Bellamy, with a clear palm print on his face, he is already in a coma. What kind of thing are you, and you deserve to let Doflamingo come out in person. You really put money on your face. Shajur-Ching wiped the blood from his hands on him with a look of contempt. Gulu, is this the strength of 400 million pirates? Bellamy was beaten before he could react at all. Everyone around looked at Shajur-Ching in horror. When he came over, he even stepped back and didn't dare to let out the air. Shajur-Ching glanced at them, and suddenly they only felt like a knife was coming over, making them tremble violently. Seeing this group of stunned pirates, Shajur-Ching looked away and walked towards the Tropical Hotel, on Mock Town. It was not until Shajur-Ching walked a long distance that these people dared to move, and then dared to take a big breath. Shajur-Ching's power is too strong. After simply eating millions of Bailey's food, Shajur-Ching went to the place where Mont Blanc Cricket is located at the other end of the island under the watchful eyes of the pirates in Mock Town. What is he doing there? Does a strong man like him believe in the nonsense of Mont Blanc Cricket? Does he think that some going bell exists? Those who accepted Bellamy's hyena thought in their hearts. Shajur-Ching naturally didn't know what they were thinking, and he didn't want to know. As for the arrival of Shajur-Ching, Mont Blanc Cricket laughed very vigilantly. His brothers who look like monkeys are also very vigilant. Thunder Hunter, what do you want to do when a strong man like you comes here? Facing Shajur-Ching with a calm face, Mont Blanc Cricket tensed up all over. For him, Shajur-Ching is simply a beast of a flood, with the ability to easily take his life. When is the upwelling? I need to go to Sky Island. Shajur-Ching gave his answer very directly. You came to me for this kind of thing. Do you also believe that the legend of Going Bell and Sky Island exists? Mont Blanc Cricket looked at Shajur-Ching in disbelief and asked. Going Zonkun does not exist, just go and see to find out. It's better than guessing all the time and not taking any action. You haven't been able to find Going Bell, not necessarily because she doesn't exist, or because you're heading in the wrong direction. Shajur-Ching glanced at Cricket and said politely. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed.